Hey, Walter Sorrells back with more tips for the knife maker. Today, a challenge to myself. I'm going to forge a knife to completion in 2 hours. Let's see if I can pull it off. All right, guys, welcome to Georgia in July. Projected to be 97 degrees today, and standing next to this forge, it's probably going to be 110, 115 degrees in here. So let's look forward to getting hot and sweaty. Now, today, I'm giving myself a challenge. I'm going to take a bar of this steel right here, and I'm going to make a knife in 2 hours. A completely functional, working knife, 2 hours. Or that's the challenge. You think I can do it? So, the ground rules. Now, I didn't, set up a bunch of stuff. I didn't get all my gear teed up so to, be the easiest possible way of doing this. I didn't practice how to make this particular knife so I could make it super efficiently. In fact, I'm going to just completely make it up as I go along. As I start forging, I literally have no idea what I'm going to do other than it's going to be an integrally forged blade. In other words, the entire knife, the handle, the blade is going to be forged from one piece of steel. So let's get the fire started. Right now. Here's the materials list. Yep, this. Period. One piece of Hitachi 1084 round bar. I'll start by forging a point on this rod. Next, flattening on the forge press. Both ends, blade and handle. Now, back to the blade. Let's make it into a knife. A little pre-forging. Forge in the bevels. This is all pretty routine stuff, but now let's turn to the handle. This is the part that's going to be a challenge for me. I've got more material than I need for a utility knife like this, so I'll cut some off on the Hardy tool. Then, using the same cut-off tool, I'll split the handle down the middle. Hey guys, quick note, if you've been enjoying my videos for any part of the decade and a half that I've been helping knife makers figure out this craft, for free by the way, show a little love and help out the channel. The place to do it? Patreon. Anybody who helps out the channel gets access to all the extensive library of plans I've made over the years, and better yet, you get the warm feeling of helping me help you. Patreon.com/Walter Sorrells, link in the cards and description. All right, let's get back to it. Next, rounding and tapering. The bore of my forge is only about 6.5 inches, so the battle is bending everything back each and every time so that you can actually stuff it back in the forge. If you let it get cold and it won't fit, then you got a problem. If I was a real blacksmith instead of a humble knife maker, I would have known to do it this way and bend the off piece into a little curly cue. Lesson learned. Now I'll improvise a little handle on here. That's kind of fun. Some normalizing to refine the grain structure a little. Heading over to the grinder room where the battery on my time-lapse camera dies. Grinding, grinding, grinding. Again, routine stuff here. Hey, shiny. Now, back to the forge for heat treating. Bam, nice and hard. all that's left is to clean it up and temper it. So, did I pull it off? Did I make the knife in 2 hours? Not quite. 211 got me out of heat treat, so by my definition, that's a real knife. Now, full disclosure, after I turned off the timer, I spent maybe 2 minutes on the grinder, and then I tempered it for a couple hours. But the main part of the work, going at a fairly leisurely pace, took right at 2 hours. Now, is this the world's coolest knife? I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But look, it's entirely functional. It's a real knife. It took 2 hours to make, and I didn't even have a plan to begin with. So I feel pretty good about how this came out. Like I said up top, I intentionally made this knife, that wasn't a standard type that I normally make. I could probably forge a similar sized Japanese blade in a half, maybe even a third of this time, because I've been making them for, decades. But it's always fun to try something new. So, what's the takeaway here? Well, basically that knife making is a hobby that's, it'll fit comfortably in little chunks of your life. You don't have to set aside days and weeks of time to get a project done. I mean, I've done woodworking projects that literally took me weeks to finish. But with knife making, a weekend here, an afternoon there, an evening there. If you've been thinking about it, hey, give it a shot. 2 hours, I made a knife, so can you. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what we're doing here, please subscribe and make sure that you click on that bell so you get notified of all the latest videos. Want to buy a knife from me? Check out my modern blades at tacticsarmory.com. Digging the channel? You can support our video making efforts on Patreon. I've been banging away on these videos for like 10 years, so I hope you'll show some love for all that hard work. Link in the cards and descriptions. Finally, if you're interested in making Japanese swords, check out my full line of Japanese sword videos where I show how to forge Japanese swords as well as how to polish them and how to make fittings, handles, and scabbards. Walter Sorrells Blades.com.